Welcome to Worriosity, where we unpack what makes you bite your nails,
and keeps you up at night. We are two minds.
one spiral. Let's get to it. Well, hello, welcome to Worriosity. I'm Kat Spitzer,
And I'm Kate Dawson.
and we're sisters.
Ew, can't believe we just did that.
That's pretty gross. So we are sisters who are 15 years apart, and we thought it would be fun to get together and do this podcast about all the things that people worry about, including ourselves. We worry about a lot of things. In fact, I've written 2 books about being an anxious person, Happy Hypochondriac and The Happy Hypochondriac Survives World Travel. So I'm almost an expert on worry.
Newsflash, there's a lot to worry about when traveling.
Yeah. And having kids and all sorts of different things, right, are things that I worry about. But we thought it'd be kind of fun, especially in this first episode, to talk a little bit about what we worry about in our different generations. Okay.
Right.
So a little bit about me. I've written 4 books. The first 2 are the Happy Hypochondriac books that I previously mentioned. And then I've also written a novel, Florida Girl. I grew up in Florida, so you'll probably learn a lot about that later on. And then the 4th book is a college guide because I'm an independent college counselor. And so I have a business and wrote a college guide to help students throughout the whole process.
Oh, and that guide is pretty great. I mean, honestly, if I were going to college again, it would be such an awesome resource to be able to look at that.
Wow, thank you for the plug. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Check out the guide.
And what do you do, Kate?
So I am 34. I am not married. I don't have kids. But I do work in marketing. So I work for a national nonprofit doing digital marketing. And then on the side, I also do my own business in marketing. I guess I just like it so much. I have to do it 24/7. But it's been a wild creative ride. And as Kat mentioned, there's just a lot of different worries that come with the things that you're doing day in and day out.
Well, and you mentioned you don't have kids, but you do have a niece and nephew that have been a little bit like siblings because of the age differences.
Yes, I moved in with Kat and her husband and 2 kids when her son was 3 and her daughter was 3 months. So you can imagine at the ripe age of 16, all of a sudden I had 2 little siblings.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why she had to move in, a little bit of background about us, is we lost our mom when Caitlin was only 6.
6.
And then just 10 years later, we lost our dad. And so we had to bring a surly teenage Caitlin up to live with us. And that was challenging for her especially. But yeah, I had a new baby and a toddler and a sad and angry teenager. For good reason, she was sad and angry.
Yeah, newsflash, everyone. When you have to uproot your life and move in with a screaming baby while you're going through,
losing your parents.
Loss or whatever, you don't actually act very nice.
But here's the thing. We've all made lemonade out of the lemons that have come our way. And it's just interesting to kind of take a look at the things that make us anxious and worried and how can we turn them into something that's better and helpful and get through it and have laughs about it. So that's kind of our purpose with this podcast, is to do that and involve you and get some ideas from you and just talk about it. And that way we all feel a little bit better and not have to spiral. You'll see in our little logo, we have the spiral.
We're two minds, one spiral.
One spiral. That's right. So we're excited. We're excited to do this with you. And we figured today we'd just talk a little bit about our age differences and what we worry about and kind of who's cooler, Gen X or millennials. I think we all know the answer to that.
It's millennials.
Gen X.
It's millennials.
So we'll see.
I don't know. I feel like the Gen Zers are going to be like, neither.
Well, that's probably true. They probably think we're both a little bit ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably right.
Yeah.
I've sort of noticed that each generation automatically thinks that the one below them has many, many issues that they never had. But at the end of the day, I think we all probably had a fair amount of issues that we're still kind of dealing with a little bit. So
yeah, they just it just grows every generation. I feel like the things that we talk about from decade to decade, it's like it just progressively gets worse and worse.
Yes. So I'll tell you things that I was really nervous about as a kid is killer bees.
Oh.
Yes. I was also really nervous about being kidnapped.
Oh, yeah. Same.
I always felt like every time we turned on the news, there was some very terrifying sketch of somebody, and I was going to be that next 8 or 9 year old child that was just going to be picked up off the street by a stranger. So that
Yeah,
was,
the news really did it to you.
yeah. And we didn't have social media back then, so it was just watching the nightly news and being terrified of being kidnapped when I went outside. And then
That's
I would
fair.
say the Bermuda Triangle.
Okay, we had that one too.
So still interesting. All right, because I don't
Yeah.
think that our kids, or I know that Gen Z is not as worried about the Bermuda Triangle.
No, I
Yeah,
definitely have never heard your kids mention the Bermuda Triangle, I'll be
with
honest.
fear. Yeah, I feel like they've been able to sleep through the night. Okay,
I did see on social media recently though where somebody said like, "Oh, was anyone else concerned about the Bermuda Triangle?" Oh, no, just
just
me.
me.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I felt like that was always something that we had to be concerned about. And quicksand was also one.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've had
Was that like the Princess Bride? Did that do it to you?
well, that's funny because when I saw that, I was like, that made it seem more exciting. But because I
Mhm.
did love that movie, but
Mhm.
I've had zero experiences with quicksand,
Mm.
so I hope to kind of keep it that way. But I was very, very nervous that I would have way more than that throughout my life. So I feel like I've been pretty good about avoiding those major issues. But what about you? What do you think you were most nervous about as a kid?
Okay, so this is gonna make me look like such a square. But when I was in middle school and high school, everyone remembers Dare, right? Dare was in all of the schools, and they would just talk all the
What
time
do you mean,
about
like the alcohol, like
yeah, the
alcohol?
drug.
Oh, okay.
So they, I as Kat said,
As
we
we're
grew
sitting
up.
here drinking wine,
Right, right,
she
yeah,
was
like
scared of Dare.
yeah, like the drugs and alcohol, whatever. So it was funny, like growing up in Florida. I mean, the area that we lived in, it was very like, don't do drugs, don't do alcohol, sustain, like completely abstain completely. And so I remember when I was younger, they used to say things like, people will come up to you and try to offer you drugs, and like, don't do them, or like
So you were just afraid of people then because you thought
yeah,
they were
right.
all trying to push
Yeah,
on
push
you.
or like when you think about like Halloween, right? Like they would make you check your candy because
Oh,
there were
razor
needles,
blades.
razor blades and needles in them. And so
Yeah.
I just remember like my whole childhood thinking, "Oh my gosh, somebody's going to try to give me drugs or put like something sharp in my candy." Like I just thought that my whole childhood. Another one is just like the same as the kidnapping. I thought I was going to get kidnapped everywhere I went. I think our generation they had some overlap because the news was so aggressive with how they showed kids being taken.
Well, so then I wonder if that's part of why there's so many helicopter parents now is we were all afraid of being kidnapped and now we're just like we got to watch our children all the
Yeah, what
time.
if our kids get kidnapped? I mean, like, that's
Maybe
so
that's the
scary.
reason.
It's so scary.
The inventors of Life 360, were you afraid that you were
Yeah.
going to be kidnapped as a kid? I think maybe that's part of
Inquiring
it.
minds want to know.
Yes. So, yeah, those are scary things to think about.
Yeah, for
Anything
sure.
else that you had?
No, actually, it's funny. Like, I feel more.
You were brave.
I feel a little more fearful now than I did when I was a kid. I feel like I actually when I don't you know Dad was still here. Don't tell him. I remember one day I decided I was going to take my scooter and scoot across all of Orlando to go visit a friend. I went across random like highways and
Oh my
through all
gosh,
these
how old were you?
neighborhoods. I was like still in elementary school.
Oh, well, this is good parenting
Yeah,
that's,
good
that you're hearing
parenting.
about right now.
Yes, yes. I've made it though, so I guess it's okay. But I just remember feeling very fearless. And then I don't know when that switch changed.
So, what do you think you're anxious about now? I mean, so those were what we were anxious about as kids in various generations. Do you think we have the same anxieties now? Or do you feel like, I mean, I feel like both of us worry about our health a lot.
Oh, for sure.
That's a big one.
I think that's because of our parents. So I
Yeah.
mean, since they did, our mom was 44 when she passed, and it was of heart disease and diabetes. And then
Hmm.
our dad also passed pretty young, like 60,
65.
yeah,
Yep. Same
65.
thing. Heart disease and
Yeah,
diabetes.
same thing. And so I think as, two women going through life having those kind of genetics, it does kind of weigh on you that health piece.
Hmm.
But aside from health, I think we worry about perception. At least I know I do. And I think that's because of
Like how other people view you, or
yeah, and I
okay.
I think that too. And it's funny, like I feel very confident in a lot of ways, and I am really good at networking, and I'm really good at making friends. But for some reason, there's always like this little voice in my head, and I wonder if that's because of like social media. The
I
like
could see that.
the technological boom right in our childhood, where we sort of had like the landlines on the wall like everyone else before us, and then all of a sudden we had iPhones in our hands and social media being developed. It
You
just
could
felt
go
like,
further than the other room while you were on the phone
I know.
because the cord, would only go so far. So
Oh, I know. It's so quickly it all changed. And so I wonder if that like little, voice, that little worry is probably part of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, social media has changed a lot of things, but in fact, it just has presented new things for me to worry about that I hadn't even thought about worrying about before. So I feel
Oh,
like that's where
yeah.
that's a little bit of a problem, and I'm
Our
very
constant news
yes,
source.
exactly. I'm very susceptible to new information that
Oh,
might freak me out. So
she's been influenced.
yeah, so I have to be very careful about that and make sure I get all my facts before I start to worry. As I've grown, well, I've matured where I try not to get overly scared immediately.
Sure.
First, I try to, you know, repeat my mantra of, okay, if I can't change it, I can't control it, then I need to try to let it go and
Sure.
not let it bother me. But that's easier said than done, and there's a lot that gets thrown our way. So
Well, that reminds me of another fear I know that we both share, and that is flying, which is funny because both of us.
I will be able to do a whole episode on flying because
Oh,
there's stories.
yeah. Yeah, we have so many flying stories, but I think that is something that we share generation to generation, is that we're both avid travelers. Like we go here and there, and yet we're both super afraid of the vehicle that gets us there. And so I don't know. I don't know why
Well,
that is.
it stopped our mother from doing it because she was very terrified.
Yeah.
But we have decided that we're pushing through, and it hasn't stopped either one of us from traveling,
Hmm.
so that's really good.
No, for
Um,
sure.
but yeah, so I think overall we've learned from this that Gen X is cooler.
Oh,
That's the first thing we
no,
learned.
actually,
Um,
I don't think that's what we
I
learned.
mean, come on, killer bees, kind of. I mean, that's pretty exciting. So,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we had the kidnapping thing too, so
so, so
I don't know. Razor blades in your candy, that's pretty hardcore.
well, that's
Okay,
true.
like
But
I'm
you know
just
what I
saying.
noticed about that? And again, I bet we could probably have a whole Halloween issue as well.
The
But
parents.
yes, but I do notice, and it still happens, that parents really have kept that one alive with, something being wrong with the candy. And I think it's so they can cull through it and pick out what they want. Because now, as a parent, I might have done that before. I'm not admitting it, but it might be possible that I picked out some candy.
All I
Like,
know
this
is,
one looks like it might have been tampered with.
hey, I hear you, but that is some crazy propaganda when you see that on the news when I was younger. I
That's
mean,
true.
it's
Yeah.
like it's like parents wrote in, they said spread this wild story.
Well, the best part about that is actually because when I was younger, it was razor blades and they would put them in apples. And I was like, well, who is eating their apple from Halloween bags anyway?
Yeah, no.
I
No,
only
and like
wanted my
when you
Laffy
notice,
Taffies and
like
things like that.
I'm just a little confused. Like if you're putting a razor blade in an apple, wouldn't there be like a hole or like a slice? Like I
Yeah.
just don't
I feel like
unless
you
you
would
like do
notice
you like
it.
grow it around a laser? You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know.
Like
I don't know.
I'm not getting that one.
But yeah, so Gen X is cooler.
No.
And so we learned that. And we're just really happy to have you as part of Worriosity.
Actually, if we're being honest, I think Gen Zers are cooler.
Well, actually, they would probably say that. So I think you're right.
Yeah,
I have
we're
a
like
lot
the
of
weird
faith.
middle child.
I have a lot of faith in Gen Z.
Yes.
So we'll see how it plays out. But it's been lovely speaking to you today, and we are excited to bring you Worriosity each week.
Yep. Tune in for the next episode coming soon.
Okay.